the Ravens and the Chiefs faced off in Arrowhead in a spot that I don't think either of them expected to be in Week 4, which was they were 1-2 and really needing a win to not go 1-3 and putting yourself in a very bad early season hole. And it was, are the Ravens going to have a get-right game for their defense, or are the Chiefs going to have a get-right game for their offense? And the Chiefs got the get-right game for their offense and put up 37 on the Ravens' beat-up defense that has not been any good this season, and they win 37-20. Not really that close of a game. Lamar gets hurt early in the fourth, I believe, and doesn't play the rest of the game. And from there, it's just easy sledding. So big win for the Chiefs. They're 2-2. The Ravens are now 1-3, and staring down a couple games without Lamar while already being 1-3 is not where you want to be. Key points from this game, though, guys?
Yeah, I didn't realize the Lamar Jackson injury was for real until talking about it earlier, because I didn't see it happen, and then the situation, when they panned to him talking about it, he was just chilling on the sideline talking to one of the coaches. Like, he wasn't in the tent. There was no medical staff. He was just on one of the iPads, like, watching film and talking, and so it kind of looked to me like the game was lost, and so they just benched him, and then I don't know why they chose to call it an injury, but they did. But then y'all are saying that he could actually miss multiple weeks, so I was mistaken about that. But I mean, yeah, the Ravens' defense is really bad. Is the 33.3 like current, or is that going into the game?
I picked it up today, so
yes,
that's
current. So they were allowing 32 going into the game, and now they're up to 33 in the third. The defense is just so bad, and now they're losing pieces in the defensive line. Like JP said, they were missing 8 of the 11 starters at give different points.
4 coming into the game, then they lost 4 throughout the game.
Yeah.
Which 4 did they lose throughout the game?
Matabuke was one of them. Nate Wiggins was one of them.
Roquan Smith got hurt.
Okay. And there was another.
Okay. Does not look good.
I mean, and you do expect to get better as people come back from injury, but a couple of the guys are already out for the year, and the vibes aren't high there at all right now either. Lamar's clearly very frustrated on the sidelines. Marlon Humphrey's trying to put out videos to the fans after losses. It's just in a weird spot overall. My biggest takeaway, though, is I did like what I saw from the Chiefs' offense. Getting Xavier Worthy back, he was the team's leading rusher and receiver, which I know, it's not like anyone for the Chiefs ran for a ton of yards. He just had a big, 35-yard rush. But he alone already kind of helped us see what the Chiefs' offense was supposed to be coming into the season. Mahomes just looked a lot more comfortable. He only ran 4 times, which tells you, I think, a lot more.
Yeah.
About him being comfortable and that he didn't feel the need to go do it himself. He could just sit back, hit the slant, to Worthy or Kelsey, maybe pick his time for deep shots, get the RPO going. Just a lot more fluid Chief offense than what we've had through the first 3 weeks. And that's what my biggest takeaway is and what I really like to see for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Worthy played kind of like a Tyler Lockett. There were a lot of, every time he caught the ball over the middle, he was going down almost instantly.
Yep.
Which is fine.
They probably have told him to do that.
Yeah,
if had to guess.
It's what he needs to.
Correct.
I personally love the way Tyler Lockett. I mean, I like that he does that. It makes so much sense when you're playing a wide receiver, and also Tyler Lockett he did it when he was older. Xavier Worthy's doing it because of his injury, but I see no problem if you've got the yards. Don't put yourself at risk to make it. To get to the 35 instead of the 33. If you've got the first down, there's no need to take a shot to the head or a shot to the ribs. So I haven't seen any Chiefs fans mad at Worthy. There were some Seahawks fans who I saw at times mad at Lockett, but I think it's a really smart thing to do. Love the way he's taking care of his body there.
There's really no reason to be mad at Worthy.
If you're mad at Worthy, the Chiefs fan, you're stupid.
Yeah. Which some of them may be, but who doesn't have stupid fans in their fan base?
The Chargers, because there's only 5 fans.
True.
Wait, you just called me smart.
Congrats. Appreciate.
For me, biggest takeaway is that this was more than a regular season game,
Sure.
and it will just continue to tell the story of Lamar Jackson. He's now 1-6 against Mahomes. There have been 3 games in the past 2 years, 3 years, where Lamar Jackson has turned the ball over more than once. Those 3 games. The 2023 AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. the 2024 divisional round game at Buffalo last year, and this game this past Sunday. Lamar Jackson is James Harden.
In my head, I had him as in Cars. There's like the montage of the first, like the king, the runner-up, and the rookie. So he's Chick Hicks.
Yes.
And Patrick Mahomes is Strip Weathers.
And Justin Herbert's Lightning McQueen.
No, Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen could be. There's not a perfect three-way, but
no,
you
there
know,
definitely isn't because Josh Allen was drafted the
Lamar
year after
Jackson has been
Mahomes.
chasing Patrick Mahomes' tail feathers for
Yeah.
years as Carl was I don't remember the announcer from Cars' name, Daryl, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the comparison that came to mind. James Harden's a good comparison too.
He is James Harden. He again did not statistically outperform Mahomes in a game. It's the first time in 2 years that Mahomes has thrown 4 touchdowns. Week 7 of 2023. So Mahomes got it going against that defense. And we think about the Ravens, and at least in the past 2 years with Derrick Henry, they have been undeniably unstoppable offensively. And they could barely score against the Chiefs this past weekend. And it's not like the Chiefs are great defensively, but it really is just a story of Lamar and this offense in those big moments that they just don't get it done. They're up 7-0. It's 1st and 10. Lamar is pressured immediately, and for whatever reason, he throws up a jump ball to not Mark Andrews, but one of the tight ends, and Leo Chenal makes an absolutely incredible play on the interception. But there was never a reason for Lamar to put the ball in harm's way.
Yeah.
They're driving. They're on the Chiefs' side of the field again. They could go up 14-0 immediately. And those are just the kind of things that Lamar does. And then the fumble, again, is another thing. It's just he turns it over in these big spots. He doesn't play his best. Was the injury fake? Who knows? I based on the fact that he may miss this weekend, I would lean no. But the Ravens just have a Chiefs problem, and it doesn't matter when it is. Like, at least for the Bills, they beat the Chiefs in the regular season pretty much every single year, and they will hope to get it done in the postseason. But for Lamar, the Ravens, like, I just don't know if you can ever view them even on the same tier as Buffalo, because they just can't get it done in these big moments. If Justice Hill doesn't have that big rush in the third quarter, it would be 3 straight games where Baltimore rushed for less than 100 yards. As I said last week, 2 in a row was the first time ever in the Lamar Jackson era. So offensively, they again couldn't get anything going for whatever reason. On the Chiefs side, they looked great offensively, but so is pretty much everyone against Baltimore. So we'll see if that's going to be something that continues for them going forward. This coming week, they play at the Jaguars on Monday Night Football. Jaguars are one of the best defenses in the league right now. They have 13 takeaways through 4 games, which is incredible. That's 3 a game. So they looked great, and I think Xavier Worthy getting back in it was awesome. They were kind of running the ball with a little bit more confidence. You could tell Pacheco had picked up a little bit of his step again. I think I'd love to see that be built upon on Monday night before we really kind of crown them as back. I thought, like I said at the opening of this, that it was just more of a game that was outside of a regular season game. It's just the story of Lamar and the Ravens in key spots. This is now you're 1-3. Lamar got hurt. Bunch of your defense is hurt. Your defense is crap anyway. Lamar may not play for the next 2 to 3 weeks. You could be 1-5 bye week and Lamar returns. Your season might be over. It's a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
You can't run the ball. Lamar turns it over for no reason, and you can't stop anyone defensively. It's just it's a huge indictment on the Ravens in a must-win the Super Bowl season. Like, that's the only other way to put it, and they are not up to the task right now.
This is what football does to you, though, in terms of, like, we sat here preseason, we're like, the Ravens probably have the deepest team. Like, I don't really see any huge holes. They turned the defense around second half of last season, and now we're here after 4 weeks, and everything's fallen apart. There's injuries everywhere. They've not performed to standard at all. you got to be on top of your game in football, or it'll humble you really quick. It is. Thank you, Harris. Is Daryl Cartrip is the announcer in Cars? So thank you for that, Harris.
I don't know if I'd call this a must-win the Super Bowl season because I could see them having yes, clearly they want to win the Super Bowl because they have the team to do it right now. But I could see them having like a San Francisco 49ers kind of year. The year they draft, they go to the Super Bowl, and then the next year have a bad year, draft Nick Bosa, and then go to the Super Bowl again. I could see them with the injuries they sustained. They might just have to recognize that Lamar Jackson can't carry this shell of a team to a Super Bowl, and they're gonna lose some games. They're not gonna make the playoffs. They'll draft in the top half of the league. It sucks because that's not really what you expected going into the season. And then next year they'll bounce back and be in the competition for the 1 seed in the AFC. That's why I would push back on calling this a must with the Super Bowl season, because we've seen teams who we expect to be good who return so much just out of nowhere get smashed by the injury bug, and then bounce back. Everyone gets healthy, and then the next year recover and play well.
Yeah, I just think with how it's been for the Ravens over the past couple years, they almost don't get that luxury because they just can. It's not like they just got good this year.
Yeah.
They've been good previously. I sat here preseason and said it's Super Bowl or bust, and so I know there's been injuries, but I think I'm still going to hold them to that standard because Lamar's becoming James Harden. Is a good way to put it.
It's not like the team is bad. Like you said just a second ago, we talked about how it felt like there were no holes, and with the improvements they made on defense, Derrick Henry's not getting any younger. They had Zay Flowers is healthy, returning. Mark Andrews. The only question offensively that they didn't really have was Isaiah Likely to begin the season.
Yeah.
But defensively, they had Matabuke, Kyle Van Noy, who was their leading sack getter last year. Roquan Smith is one of the best middle linebackers in football. Kyle Hamilton is one of the best football players in football. For me, I don't care about the injuries
because also the defense was bad before the injuries started piling up. So
100%. And we talked about how, or at least everyone felt they nailed the draft too, getting Mike Green and getting Malachi Starks. But that clearly hasn't really helped them enough right now. They're only rookies. You don't expect them to. But as rookies on top of a defense that improved a ton, they don't deserve this luxury because they're part of that tier that doesn't get this luxury of injuries. Okay, who cares? Yeah. No, literally, who cares? The Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen has a whole gang of receivers. His defense is just a whole gang of players. There's really just Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, and Greg Rousseau. Outside of that, it's Cole Bishop who's playing out, and DeMar Hamlin are playing meaningful snaps for them, and they go out there and win and win and win. The Chiefs with the same thing. The Chiefs over a couple of years have been like Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore and
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
MVS. That's been their receiving core. None of the Chiefs and Bills don't have Derrick Henry. The Chiefs and Bills don't have Kyle Hamilton on the other side. The Chiefs have Chris Jones, but that's about it. I just don't think the Ravens get this luxury. I don't mind that comparison, but if they miss the playoffs this year, something has to change.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be John Harbaugh because, why would you get rid of Lamar Jackson? But something has to change because you can't come. How are you going to come back into next year and say, okay, well, if we're just healthy, we'll be fine? Well, if you look at the past half decade, you've made one AFC championship game with arguably the best player in football in Lamar Jackson, a multi-time MVP. Something has to change because nothing has changed over those 5 years. You've just added on better and better pieces.
There's also the thing of taking it, looking at it from further out. Just you can't use injuries as an excuse really for anyone in football because it's just part of football. Just people get injured. I get the Ravens have had a ton of injuries already this season. But so are so many teams across the league. The Chargers are struggling to have an offensive line. The Commanders are missing QB1 and wide receiver 1 and running back 1 already tore his Achilles for the year. the San Francisco 49ers barely have a team currently. Like, it's just how it goes. So it's something it's very easy to use an excuse in football, but I try to not, because it's just you have to prepare for injuries going into every season and have the next man up mentality and find ways to still win games.
Sanders, are you scared that the Chiefs are now the front runners to win the AFC West after this weekend?
Yeah, a little bit.
They're only a game back all of a sudden after being 2 games back.
Yeah, after the way the offensive line looks for the Chargers, yeah, I'm pretty nervous about that. I don't know when we play them again, but I mean, ideally, we've got Joe Alt back by then.
It's
so
probably later in the season.
It
if I had
is.
to
It's
guess.
It will be
the
in Kansas City.
4th to last game.
That's
Sure.
big.